Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Jobs. Yes, that's right, it's me, Chief Executive of Apple Inc., 1 Infinite Loop, Cupertino, California, 95014. I know the address. That's how you know it's me, Steve Jobs. Well, I've got some big news this year, and I want the whole world to hear it. I quit. Yes, that's right. I'm resigning effective immediately. And what's more, I'm shutting down all of Apple. Now, I know this comes as a surprise to some of you, but if you think about it, you'll see I really didn't have a choice. I mean, Vista's been performing so well. They've sold tens of dozens of copies. It was so clear to me that Leopard was just going to get lost in all of that wow. And then I got my iPod killer. The Zune. Look at this baby, huh? Brown. Now, I'm sure you'd agree that it's time for Apple to wave the white flag and concede defeat to the boys up in Redmond, Washington. Now, don't shed tears over the iPhone and all that other junk we talked about. Just carry those big brains of yours up out of the Mascarpone Center and go on home. You're no longer needed. PC? Hey, oh, hi, Mac. What's going on? How are you?
Again? Really? Why? I thought we talked about this last year. You think these people are really going to believe that you're Steve Jobs?
You're right. Hello, I'm Phil Schiller.
Good morning. Welcome. Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for coming. We got some great stuff to show you today. So welcome to WWDC 07. I'm really pleased to report that we have over 5,000 attendees today. This is the biggest WWDC ever in the history of Apple. And another really cool thing is that we have over 950,000 Apple Developer Connection members. That's up 200,000 from just a year ago. So our developer community is very healthy, growing very rapidly. So we couldn't be happier. Now, this week, we got some great stuff for you. We've got 159 sessions. We've got 94 hands-on labs. And we've got 1,200 Apple engineers on site. That's one Apple engineer for every 4 attendees. So you ought to be able to grab an Apple engineer and get your questions answered during the week, and I would encourage you to do so. So WWDC 07. Before we get into stuff today, I just want to go back a year. What were we talking about a year ago? Well, we were talking about Intel, because we were very far along in a very ambitious project to transition all of our computers over to Intel processors. And we did it successfully. This was one of the most challenging, ambitious transitions ever in our industry. And everybody did an awesome job. Our teams inside Apple did an incredible job engineering the new Intel hardware and creating Mac OS X Tiger for Intel. You guys did an incredible job making universal versions of your apps, well, most of you anyway, and that was terrific, and there's now zillions of universal apps out there. But there's one group that I think worked extremely hard that I would like to recognize today, and that is Intel themselves. From the very day that we signed up to put Intel processors in Macs, these guys have done extraordinary work with us. We started it off by Intel CEO Paul Otellini handing me our first wafer full of Intel processors. We have worked so hard with them to do special things, to do things that are a little outside the norm so we could make the best Macs ever using Intel processors, and they have come through every single time for us. And so I wanted to kick off today, now that our transition's behind us, by inviting Intel CEO Paul Otellini up here, if I could. Thanks. Paul, I've got something for you. We're not big on awards at Apple, and so we don't have anything real standard. And so I asked Johnny Ive if the design team would make something. And they made this really nice award for you guys. And it says, our sincere thanks for your extraordinary partnership in our transition to Intel processors. I don't know if you can get a shot of this, but it's made out of polished stainless steel, and it's really beautiful. And I would like to give this to you and the Intel team.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you. You know, I didn't know what you were doing. I just wanted to say thanks to you and your team. Working with Apple has been one of the best things that's ever happened in my career, one of the best things that's ever happened for Intel. And we couldn't be more pleased. And you know what? I think we're not done. I think we have the best still to come.
Yeah. We're working on some great stuff for some future products, so can't wait.
Got it.
Thanks, Paul.
Very much.
So thank you to everybody at Intel for making this transition possible. It's been really great. We're very proud of the machines we're delivering these days. Next up, got some great news about games. First, Electronic Arts, the #1 publisher of games in the world, is coming back to the Mac in a really big way. And it's my pleasure to invite up Bing Gordon, one of the co-founders and the chief creative officer of Electronic Arts. Hey, Bing. How you doing?
Nice to be here.
All yours.
Fun. Thank you, Steve. I have 2 teenage daughters. They live on MacBook. I have friends in the music business, in the movie business, in the photography business, in the graphic design business. They live on OS X. Our CTO at Electronic Arts lives on Mac, and we're seeing EA technologists move to Mac in droves. And what do they all want? What do they keep asking for in addition to a cinema display? They want to go into an Apple store and they want to see all the latest EA games simultaneous released with all the other platforms. And so I'm here today to announce we are going to rectify the situation. Starting in July, we're going to bring 4 of our biggest titles to run under OS X. And they are Command & Conquer 3, the continuation of the 15-year battle against Nod and Kane, Battlefield 2142. The game of the year goes into a science fiction future where you can play against your friends and meet new people. Need for Speed Carbon. This is a car game with a mountain and valley racing with carbon bodies that don't handle damage very well. That's a hint. And finally in July, Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. Harry Potter is Electronic Arts' best wizard, and as you know, he needs a wand, unlike Steve Jobs, who just used his imagination. So now we're going to, Dave